Right? It's funny. Me and Darren always joked about how if we started like a prop firm full of kids, like a daycare / prop firm, and we had a mechanical system, how we think those children would outperform 95% of the traders in the industry. I bet. Now, it'd be illegal. It'd be like a sweatshop, right? Underage employment, forceful labor, all that fun stuff, whatever like that. But they would outperform 95% of the industry if we had kids trading. Do you know why? Right? Do they have any concept of money? As far as like the real value of money? Like, you know, my kid knows what money is, but he doesn't know like the difference between like a quarter and a dime, right? He thinks a dime is probably less than a penny because it's smaller, right? So there's no emotional tug that comes with that. So if we were to give these kids a system, right, a mechanical system, it'd be something like, it prints an arrow and it's like, hey, when the red arrow comes, you buy. You push this buy, or when the red arrow comes, you push this red button on your thing. That would mean sell. When the green arrow comes, you push this, right? Those kids, and every time you push it, you get like a candy, right? Do you think those kids would make any psychological errors, or would they follow the plan 100%? They'd follow 100%. Why? Because there's no need to fear getting into a trade. There's no fear of exiting early, right? Exiting late, moving stops. There's none of that, right? The kids just want what? Right? Hey, if you do this, when it does that, you get a candy. It's just process. They're rewarded off the process, right? The process is clicking the right button when the right signal comes on. They get a piece of candy. That's all they care about. They don't care about they don't care how the trade ends up, do they? Does it mean anything to them? If they have a 100 pip loser or a 100 pip winner, does that mean anything to them? No. They're getting value. They're getting reward from the process. So they're fearless in their execution. They just do what they're supposed to do. It's the same thing when you're doing kind of stuff like this, right? There's no reward. There's no pain for being wrong. Maybe a little bit of a psychological hit if you have a big ego. And that's real. That is real. Right? Maybe a little bit of a psychological hit if you're wrong. Maybe a little bit of a psychological boost if you're right. But by just making predictions, it's just practice. It's play. For you guys that played sports, I guess you can get punished at practice, but there's the punishment for messing up at practice is not nearly as bad as doing it in a game. It's just practice. It's play. It's fun. For me, this is play, right? Everything needs to go back to play. Play is how we just originated in doing things in general. This is play. This is like, hey, I'm going to make a prediction and see what happens. If it works out, oh, that's awesome. If it doesn't work out, doesn't matter. And what happens is when you do this play, you start to find out little small things. There was an interesting article I read. I'm not sure if it was an article or a conversation I had, right? I read too much and I talk too much. And I listen too much. But it was about soccer in the United States, right? You guys can all agree soccer in the United States stinks, right? Even if you're not a soccer fan, you know we stink, right? Would you guys agree? And in reality, right? Reality, we should be the best. I'm not saying that because of my big American ego, right? But the melting pot of cultures and people and the bulk of population we have here, we should have the best talent pool of athletes in the world. I think you guys can agree. Should. Not that we do. We should. Right? Just based on the melting pot, we have people from all around the world that are American citizens, massive amount of money, massive population. It's no different than high school, right? You have a small high school versus a big high school, right? What team is more likely to be better? The big high school, because they have a bigger population pool. They can select the best of the best instead of just selecting with what they have, right? That's just in general. You're better that way, right? However, we're not very good. And one of the reasons for that is the style of play. And style of play also goes back to how we're training our soccer players, right? And what we've done is, because soccer has become more popular here in the US, we've made youth soccer extremely expensive to play. Right? There's all these clubs. If you want to go to college, you want to get in the U.S. system, you got to be a part of a club. If you want to be a part of a club, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars, right, a year. Right? And yeah, I would agree with that too, Jamie. We have too many sports. Football and basketball kill it. That's a legitimate reason. But follow me down this path, right? So in order to get where you want to go into the program with soccer, right, you've got to play club. Because people are, it's a, capitalist America, right? Make as much money as you can. So what's happening is these kids, they're being identified as the next stars from the age of 7. And not to mention our programs we don't have a developmental program like in other countries. But at the age of 7, and they're basically telling people, if you're not legit by 7 or 10, right, there's no point of you playing. And what's funny is, right, so we've isolated soccer as an upper class, an upper middle class to upper class sport. Kind of like lacrosse now, where it's like you have to be wealthy to really play it at a good level. But if we look at soccer and where it came from, right, soccer was a sport for those in poverty, was it not? Right? What was the cool thing about soccer, right? All you need is a ball or a ball-shaped object, and you can kick it around. You can find 2 cones, you can find 2 sticks and make it a goal. You look at people in South America, you can play it on the street, right? And the key word in that is what? Play. Naomi says a lot in the UK came from background of wealth. Yeah, the key was play, right? So when you have people just playing, they're not worried about getting signed or anything like this. They're just playing. They're developing what? What do you get when you're playing backyard football with someone, right? Skill. What else? Think about it. Experience. What else? Think about any game of tag, any game of hide and go seek. What happens when you play hide and go seek and you keep getting caught over and over again? You become more. Someone's gonna get it. Boom, creative, right? I'm going to stop hiding behind this tree because mom keeps finding me. I'm going to climb in the tree, right? You get creative. You develop creativity from fun, right? There's no coach telling you, Gabrielle, you have to hide in this particular spot. You can't hide there. No, that's not the right way to do it. It's trial and error, right? You're hiding someplace, you have a good idea, maybe it doesn't work, maybe your foot sticks out, you're like, okay, that was a bad idea, but I tried. And you develop that creativity until eventually you find this crazy hiding space that no one thinks of, right? You get inside the washing machine. Probably a bad idea, but you get inside the washing machine. No one would ever think to look for you in there. You become creative. If you watch American soccer and you watch how we play, there's zero creativity. Even American basketball, there's zero creativity. You can tell exactly where the pass is going to go before it goes there. It's mechanical. No one's making good runs. It's just mechanical because it's all being coached. Do this, do that, do that, do that. Really, it's kind of in an if-then syntax. Wherein you see South America, right? You see in England and Spain, right? It's creativity. It's a beautiful game, right? There's a flow. There's movement, right? It's creative. That's the problem we don't have. We don't have creativity. Now, this same play aspect in the market, guys, right? What we're doing here, when we're putting ourselves in a position where we're analyzing the market, we're not caring about entering trades or winning or losing. You're just looking at the chart and interpreting. What do you think's happening there during this fun period of play in the market? What are you developing? Skill. What else? Creativity. Do you see it? I know that was a long way back to the point, but being the sports nerd I am, I had to sneak it in there, especially since we just got blasted by England. Ugh. You're developing creativity, right? You're doing this little market replay thing. You're doing it every day, and you start making these predictions. I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to do that. Oh, look at that. That's a gap candle. We're going to do this here. And before you know it, right, you try and fail, you try and fail, you try and fail, you try and fail. And then you finally find something, right? Maybe you find like a candlestick combination. We got 2 dojis in a row followed by a higher high, higher close. Okay, I would enter there. Hey, what do you know? It worked out. Look at that. Boom. Yeah, it's cool. All right, and you do it tomorrow. All right. 2 dojis followed by a lower, low, lower close. Let's just sell there. Oh, look at that. Got it. It worked out. And then it's like, I wonder. You start writing it down. Okay, if I get 2 dojis followed by higher high, higher close, then I enter next bar market. And then you start going back through the charts, right? You start going back through the chart, you start looking for double dojis, higher high, higher close. And you start taking very, very brief notes. You're like, okay, well, winner. Okay, moving in the right direction. Went against me. Okay, moving in the right direction. You take your brief notes. You come back, you looked at maybe 100 of them. You're like, okay, well, 70 out of these 100 situations moved in the right direction. You don't know how far it moved, but it moved in the right direction. And then you're like, okay, well, how can I put another level on here? Okay, and that's the beginning of strategy development. You now have a thesis, a hypothesis, right? You have a starting point, a building block for a potential strategy. And of course, you have to find out stuff like, hey, optimal stop placement, optimal target selection, with trend, against trend, structure, no structure, fib, no fib, moving average, right? All the other stuff you can add to it. But you've got the core center of what could potentially be something that gives you a slight edge in the market. And as professional traders, all we're looking for is a slight edge in the market, something that we can extract over and over again. Does that make sense, guys? But it all starts with play, just being creative. This is the non-structured part of trading is where you get the most out of it. Just playing around on a chart. Mama saying, okay, go outside and play, come back by 6. And you're like, okay. You find a lot of things when you're not actually looking for something. You're just enjoying the ebbs and the flows. Enjoying the ebbs and the flows. So give it a try, guys. Give it a try. Give it a try again. TradingView is awesome for the market replay. Ninja has it too. The only thing with Ninja, again, you have to, excuse me, you gotta track it in advance. You gotta set your Ninja Trader up so it's recording it. TradingView, I don't know how far you can go back, but you can just kind of just like pick a spot and be like, hurrah, make the noise, and then just play it forward. You can go through days and days and days and weeks of data in a matter of seconds. Now that's chart time for you.